In this video, we are going to study about watershed, definition of watershed, characteristics of watershed, deterioration of watershed, and classification of watershed. So, what is definition of watershed? A watershed may be defined as geographical or topographical area from which runoff water may be collected or harvested at single point into river, stream or ocean. So watershed is area. Which area? As it is said in definition, it is a geographical area or topological area. So as you can look in this image, so it is a geographical area, and as well as it is called a topological area. So why topological? Because there is the relative differences in height, and such an area which have single point. So we can look, here is a single point, and from which all the water or the rainfall water comes out from this area through this outlet. So this is the only single point from where the rainfall water falling on this area can go outside this land area, and such arrangement of the land area is known as watershed. So as there is the relative differences in height, you can look in this figure. So there are some relative differences in height, and that permits the rainfall water whatever fall here to pass through three sub basin to this stream or this river, and this river is formed by a series of streams, and the role of these streams is to carry the water, rainfall water falling on this land surface, and thus the water is flown through this single common outlet. So there is another definition of watershed. So what is that? The watershed may also be defined as hydrological unit area which drain to some point in a stream, river or ocean. So it is also called hydrological unit. Why hydrological unit? Basically it is related, its function is related to water. Why related to water? Because the whatever the rainfall water fall on this area has to pass to these streams and through this single point. So this is called hydrological unit. And also the watershed is also called sometime a drainage basin. So why it is called a drainage basin? Because these streams act like a drainage for of water, drainage of rainfall water. So drainage of rainfall water happens to this stream, so it is also known as drainage basin. Sometimes watershed is also called as catchment area. So why called catchment area? Because this land area catches the rainwater and passes through this common outlet. So this is why watershed is also known as catchment area. So watershed, drainage basin and catchment area all are similar terms. Now the watershed boundary is called drainage divide. So as you can look in this image, so red line is showing a watershed divide. So red line is showing the watershed divide. And what is the role of this divide? So it divides the rainfall water. The water falling here, it will go to another watershed, and whatever the water fall inside this red line area, inside this land, that will flow through this. So this is called drainage divide. Now coming next, what is watershed management? We define as management of all natural resources for sustainable crop productivity along with socio-economic improvement of the people living in rural area. So there are 7 characteristics: size, shape, slope, time of concentration, hydraulic soil cover, topography and geology. So these are the 7 characteristics which affect the watershed function. So watershed size affect the overland flow. So overland flow is more predominant in small watershed. So if the watershed area is say small, in case of large watershed, channel flow is predominant. So what is channel flow? So this is called channel. This is the channel. If the watershed area is large, then the water flowing through these channels are prominent. So that is why size of the watershed is important. So if the watershed size is large, then we have to consider the how much the amount of water that channel conduct or that carries. So in small watershed, overland flow result to peak flow and land use play an important role. So if watersheds are affected by basin storage, so what is basin storage? So you can look, here is the river and this is the basin. So we know the area of watershed, so we can use various soil maps, aerial photographs for describing the size of watershed. If how it looks to our eye, it may be in square shape, rectangular shape or triangular shape. So it is called rectangular shape. So watershed may be in triangular shape. So this is the triangular shape. Watershed may be in square shape. It is a square shape. And it rectangular shape, it is like described as shape index. So how we can measure the shape? So there is a one index that is called shape index. So shape index is equal to capital L into capital A, and where L is the length of watershed. So what is the length of this? What is the area of this is size. So if we know the length and area, then we can calculate the shape index. So we can calculate the shape index by using the formula SI is equal to L into A. L is the length of the watershed and A is the size of the watershed. So this is the topographic map. So now how we calculate slope? We can use this formula. S is equal to mn into 100 divided by A. So where S is percentage slope, M is total length of contour of the watershed. So as we know, the contour lines are like this, and if you have a contour map, we can measure the total length of contour, and N is the contour interval. So what is the difference or height difference between these two lines? It's called contour interval. And what is the A? A is the size of watershed. So if of concentration. So what is the time of concentration? So it is the time of concentration is the time taken by water to flow from most remote point of the watershed to the outlet. So as you can look in this figure, so most remote point is here. Okay, so as you can look in this figure, this is the most remote point, and from this point to outlet, where is the outlet? So outlet is the here. Okay, you can look in this image, outlet is here, and time taken by water to flow from this point to this. The type of the soil or hydrological soil cover, we can group them in like A, B, C, D, depending upon the runoff. Now what is the group A, soil group A? So it have highest infiltration and less runoff production. So in case of soil group A, highest infiltration is there. In case of soil group B, there is the moderate infiltration. In case of C, there is the slow infiltration, and in case of D, there is the high runoff production. So vegetative cover. So vegetative cover, there may be fallow, row crops, small grain, clothes, seed, legumes, pasture, woodlands, farmstead and roads. So inside this area, there may be, depending upon the land use, the vegetation cover. And good and excellent vegetative cover reduce the soil erosion and reduce the runoff. So if there is the good vegetation cover, then it will be beneficial from the point of view of from the point of view of soil erosion and for reducing the runoff. And when we observe a very good vegetative cover inside the watershed area, we can say that it is a good sign of watershed development. Characteristics of watershed is topography. So what is topography? A degree of slope and uniformity of slope describe the watershed topography. So the topography will directly affect the time of concentration and infiltration opportunity. Then number 7 characteristics of watershed is geology. So what is the watershed geology? It is a study of earthy material of which it is made, the structure, the material and processes acting upon them. So what are the processes acting on them? So it also includes the study of organisms that have inhabited our planet. An important part of geology is study of how the earth's material structure, processes and organisms have changed over time. What are they deteriorated? So number 1 cause of deterioration is faulty agricultural practices related to cultivation. So this is the number 1 cause for the deterioration of watershed. So you can very rapidly. So this is the example of faulty agricultural practices. Then second cause is drastic removal of trees. So as you can look in this image, so here is the dense population of the plants, and in this area there is the drastic removal of the plants. So by using different plant cutting machinery, you can look in this image, these are the machineries. This area is drastically the plants are removed from this area, and what will happen now? This will expose to the water runoff, and this will cause the watershed deterioration. Then number 3 cause is removal of vegetation and grasses. So as you can look in this image, so this area is densely populated, but in this area the vegetation is removed. So as you then next cause is overgrazing of animals. So what is overgrazing? So you can look in this image. So the cattle are, if allowed to freely graze in the reason or cause is occurrence of fire disturbances in watershed area. So how fire instances occur? So you can look, there is like fire. So when there is the large scale fire, that will destroy the plant, and after the destruction of the plant, the soil get loose, and after rainfall there is a very large scale soil erosion, and this will disturb the whole watershed structure. The next reason for watershed deterioration is shifting cultivation, which destroy the productive and protective vegetative cover. So as you can look in this image, in shifting cultivation, suppose this is the one part process. What happen, this year we cultivated crop here, next year we will go here, then another next year we will go here, and this area now is very vulnerable to this soil erosion. So this is called shifting cultivation. We cultivate at one place, then another place, and then another place, and these practices will destroy the productive and protective vegetative cover. Then next reason is unscientific mining and quarrying practices. So what is unscientific mining? You can look in this image. Suppose we are mining the sand, and if it is unscientific method, so okay, you can look, so it will be totally destroy this channel area. So as there is no is bad alignment of the road. So bad alignment of the road is the reason. So how bad alignment? You can look in this image. So if the road is not properly aligned, it will result in the erosion. So after the vehicle goes from this area, the soil will get loosened, and after rainfall, this loosely soil is get transported from one place to another, and this soil get eroded. Reason is people's unawareness about watershed deterioration. So many times it happens that the people don't have the knowledge about the watershed deterioration, and that will result. So people are often unaware of their unawareness. So this is there will be approximately now if you have data, approximately 5 to 7 million hectares of the usable lands are lost every year, and 2 billion hectares of the lands are already degraded due to various causes. So as you can large basis, it is found that almost 15% area is suffering from degradation. That degradation may be happen due to deforestation, or maybe due to overgrazing, maybe due to agricultural mismanagement, or shifting cultivation, water erosion, wind erosion, industries, and urbanization. This image, this is the topsoil, and if it is the top loose soil, that will be get deteriorated. Watershed that will pass through one place to another place, and that is the important reason. Now if you look, the nature takes about 1000 years to form the 1 centimeter of the soil. So what is the soil in the field is formed due to the process of thousands of years of process or different processes. So we cannot create the soil in one day. So nature has created through the land degradation lowers the productive potential of land resources, affecting the soil, water, forest, and grassland. So classification of watershed. So we can classify watershed on the basis of size, land use, and shape. So on the basis of size, so in general we can classify the watershed in 3 size: small size, medium size, large size, depending upon its area. So if we can say the watershed is small size if the area is less than 250 square kilometer. We can say the watershed is medium size if the area is between 250 to 2500 kilometer square. And we can say generally the watershed is large if the area is greater than 2500 square kilometer. So this is the classification, general classification of the watershed. Now classification of watershed, we can classify on the basis of range: mini watershed, micro watershed, sub watershed, or watershed. If the area in terms of hectare, it is between 10 hectare to 100 hectare, it is called mini watershed. 100 to 100 we can say micro watershed. 1000 to 10,000 hectare we can say milli watershed. 10,000 to 15,000 hectare, then we can say it is a sub watershed. And if area is between 15,000 to 2 lakh hectare, we can say it is the watershed. Now there is another classification based on the size, and this classification is according to Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. So Government of India, watershed, micro watershed, sub micro watershed, major watershed, and drainage basin, and they have given a particular value to it. So we say mini watershed if its area is less than 100 hectare. We can say micro watershed if area is less than 500 hectare. We can say sub micro watershed if the area is less than 2500 hectare. We can say major watershed if the area is about 10,000 hectare. And we can say it is a drainage basin if the area is greater than 10,000 hectare. And this is the classification by Government of India. Classification of watershed on land use. So depending upon the land use, there are 7 classification of watershed. So number 1 is urban watershed, number 2 agriculture watershed, number 3 forest watershed, number 4 mountain watershed, number 5 desert watershed, number 6 coastal watershed, number 7 wetland watershed. So number 1 is urban watershed. So in urban watershed, what happened, there is the more urban area, and due to that urban area it has some effect on that drainage capacity, or there may be some flood situations occur like in the city in Mumbai, in Chiplun area. So we can found there is the more occurrences of the flood situations due to in urban watershed. So in urban watershed, it is studies important to avoid the flood in the city area. Then the second classification is agricultural watershed. So what is agricultural watershed? If watershed area is more under agriculture cultivation, then it is called agriculture watershed. As you can look at in the watershed, inside the watershed, more agricultural activities are happening, then it is called agricultural watershed. The number 3 is forest watershed. So forest watershed is, we can say, if the major area of watershed is under the forest, then it is called forest watershed. The number 4, mountains watershed. So if in the watershed there are the more mountains found, then we can say it is the mountainous watershed. So if there are the large number of mountains, it will affect the time of concentration. So it is called mountainous watershed. Then number 5 is desert watershed. So in desert watershed there is the large we can find the sand content is large inside the soil. So due to the sand content is large, temperature is high, there is the very less plant population, and it is one of the deteriorated watershed. Then number 6 is coastal watershed. So in coastal watershed it is a large coastal area, and it has one kind of its different we can find the different coastal area in this. Then number 7 is the wetland watershed. So this is the example of wetland. So in wetland there is the water and submerged plants are found. So why wetland watershed is formed? So as you can look in this image, when there is the very mountainous area there and there is between the very less flat area, then this the wetlands form. So along the stream side, as there is a very less depth, so water will not classification based on the shape. So this is the classification. So as we studied earlier, the watershed can be in a triangular shape, watershed may be in a square shape, or watershed may be in rectangular shape. So in triangular shape there is the one stream and there are the sub streams. In rectangular shape it has like this. So this is the depending upon its shape. Now important question on the topic. Question number 1, define watershed. So what is watershed, or definition of watershed? Watershed is a geographical or topographical area from which the rainfall water flows through a single common outlet. Then question number 2, define the term watershed management. So what is watershed management? It is the management of natural resources for the sustainable crop development and enhancing the people's life. Then question number 3, enlist the different characteristics of watershed. So there are 7 characteristics of watershed. Number 1, size. Number 2, shape. Number 3, topography, soil cover, geology, etc. Then question number 4, explain in short about each watershed characteristics. So in this question it is expected to answer what is the effect of size. So what is the effect of size? The size will be a prominent factor. In case of small size watershed, there will be more overland flow, and if the large size watershed, there is the more channel flow, or channel flows are predominant. Like in case of shape, time of concentration. So what is the effect of time of concentration? So all that we have to explain in short. And last question, write the classification of watershed on the basis of size, land use and shape. So on the basis of size we can say generally small size, medium size and large size. And on the basis of Government of India classification we can say mini watershed, micro watershed and drainage basin. So depending upon land use there are these 7 types. That may be urban watershed, agricultural watershed, forest watershed, wetland watershed, like. And depending upon shape we can say there are 3 types, like square watershed, triangular watershed, rectangular watershed. So this is the end of the topic. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you very much. If unchecked, it can lead to irreversible loss of natural resources on which the production depends.